Alright everyone, here's a quick little tutorial on how to make beautiful graphs. As you can see, I've already done my data table. I have time in each of the 4 test tubes. Notice how time is labeled in minutes and each of the test tubes are labeled in amounts of CO2 produced in milliliters. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of my data. And then I'm going to come up here to charts, and under charts I'm going to click scatter and marked scatter. It creates a graph. I'm going to bring that to the center right there. And that's all you need to do with the data table. Next you're going to select the graph, and then you're going to come up to chart layout and you're going to select trend line, which is this little guy right here. Next you're going to click linear trend line, and you're going to do that 4 times because I want one for each of the 4 test tubes. So we'll start with test tube 1, okay. And then we'll reselect the graph, come back up to trend line, test tube 2, select the graph again, come back up to trend line, linear trend line, test tube 3, okay. Come back up to click the graph again, trend line, linear, and test tube 4. Alright, zooming back in on that graph, look how I have the 4 trend lines that I want are linear. Next, I'm going to select one trend line. See how I selected the one with the X's. I'm going to double click on that trend line, and up pops this. You're going to want to make sure that you're under options. And under options, you're going to click the boxes for display equation on chart and display R² value on chart. Push OK, and there you go. There's your equation, which is the y equals that, and then your R² value. And you're going to make sure that you do that for every single trend line that you have. So once again, you're going to select, so we'll do this one for the green triangle. So you're going to click the trend line once to highlight it, and then you're going to double click it, and up pops that again. Make sure you're under options, display equation on chart, and display R² value on chart. And then do the final one. Awesome. Now notice how all these R² values and the equations are jumbled up. You can move these around. I would move this guy up here, and then this one, since he goes to the blue diamond, move him there, and then move the green triangle over a little bit, and then finally the red squares over. So this graph looks a little small. Let's go ahead and enlarge it. To do that, we're just going to make the box bigger. And then notice how it makes everything a little bit larger. You can go ahead and delete the linear stuff, so you just select it and then push delete on your keyboard, which is right here. And notice how it deleted that. So we'll do it again. Delete, delete, whoop, cancel, and delete. So that makes it look a little bit better. We can go ahead and enlarge it a little bit more to make it a little bit nicer to look at. And then we'll just refix these so don't get in the way of your legend that you need to keep. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So there's most of your data that you have to do on the graph. Next, we're going to add our axis titles, but first we'll do the chart title. So click title. You're going to go under chart title and then title above chart. That's what I just did right there. You're going to double click in the box to highlight all the words, delete it, and then add your own title. See, for this one you could do amount of CO2 produced Dist versus time. Obviously, you can come up with your own title. I don't care. Next, we're going to do the axes. So let's do the x-axis, which is going to be the horizontal axis title. Click title below axes. Here is going to be time. So we have time. Make sure you label it in your units. So this is done in minutes. So it should look like that at the end. Looks good. Then we're going to go back to axis titles and click vertical axis, which is going to be our y-axis, and that's the CO2 produced. And once again, you're going to double click. Oops, not for that. There we go. And then we'll just do CO2 produced. And then once again, we're going to label it with our units, which was done in milliliters. So there you guys go. This will give you full credit for your graph. You have the title, axes are labeled, you have all your data, you have all the trend lines, including their equation and R-squared values with a legend, so I know which test tube is which color on the graph. Let me know if you have any questions by emailing me, and I hope all this helped.